Kiwi Ears have begun to dominate the hi-fi market as of the past few months with their wonderful releases. But let's take a look at one of their earlier releases and their only 2D DIEM to date. This is everything you need to know about the Kiwi Ears Quartet. Kiwi Ears commits to delivering exceptional audio products that drive them to pursue excellence through high-quality in-ear monitors that reveals the details in one's music. As for their general themes, they're one of the rare brands that actually have a very cohesive and consistent theme throughout all of their IEMs, namely the cadenza, the orchestra, the quintet, and the quartet, all based on musical notations. The quartets are priced at $109 and features 2 balanced armature drivers and 2 dynamic drivers, which follow the clever naming scheme of the quartet. While 2DDs have littered the market, the quartet boasts an isobaric configuration for their dynamic drivers. What this means for the quartet is that the dynamic drivers are passively aligned to be facing and to prevent sound wave cancellation. This, in theory, should provide a faster, tighter, and deeper bass presentation compared to other woofer designs. It also features 2 custom balanced armatures for the mids and the highs. It also features 2 dip switches on each side, which allows you to have a total of 8 tuning different configurations. These tuning modes range from a warm, smooth, and bass-centric sound all the way to a balanced vocal forward type of sound. These are all handcrafted in a medical grade resin. The cable is made of a high-quality copper-free silver-plated cable terminated in 3.5mm and has an interface of 0.78mm to pin. The quartets are housed in a rather clean and pretty purple box with Kiwi Ears logo up front and a picture of the quartet and some text below. Sliding the sleeve and opening the box, we're met with the quartets themselves, some paperwork, the carrying pouch, 3 different colors of ear tips that total 9 pairs, and the cable itself. As someone who has had experience with a lot of 2 dynamic driver IEMs, I would say that my expectations for the quartet were pretty low, which I will say is both a good and a bad thing, and let me explain why. Because on one end, I was genuinely surprised with the presentation of the quartet. I was already in love with the purple color in pictures, and it looks even better in real life. And what's better? The fitting. Oh my goodness, this is probably one of, if not the best fitting $100 IEM that I've ever tried. Pair that with the fact that this also has a very unique sound signature for the price that I really haven't heard of even in 2 dynamic drivers or even hybrids in general, makes this a very interesting listen, especially if you're not used to this kind of sound signature. It instead focuses on providing a lush, thick, but generally unintrusive bass presentation that still honestly makes vocals sound pretty darn clear, which is a stark contrast to its 2DDD brother, which is the 7Hz legato, which just pushed all of its power into bass and said whatever to everything else. The tuning switches are also quite a nice addition, although it's kind of a nightmare to review because I'm kind of forced to talk about every single tuning switch, which I will very soon on my full review on the quartets. And that brings up the stuff that I'm not as impressed with the quartet, which is mostly the bass isn't as good as they marketed. It's thick, it's lush, but it lacks dynamics and texture that I was expecting for a 2DD IEM. It has a similar issue with the legato, but at least the legato has a very deep and rumbly sense of sub-bass, which the quartet doesn't really go as deep and is more mid-bass centric with lushness and warmth rather than depth and impact. The treble can also be quite problematic in some instances, and there's a very distinct metallic timbre that can, bring out a little bit of sparkle to balance out the warmth, which I found to be quite nice, but it pushes it a little too much, especially when it comes to a more sibilant or more brighter leaning tracks. It borderline sounding shrill and piercing. I can appreciate not dulling the treble, however, it is definitely pushing the boundaries of what sounds right or what sounds natural for the treble. Its technicalities were also not very stellar, but I honestly expected that, especially coming from a warm, bass-centric type of IM. And as for the tuning switches, I really only enjoyed one tuning, which is the down-up configuration, because the rest just overblows the bass, sunkens the mid even further, which is already kind of U-shaped in this configuration, the down up, so it's already a little bit further away, and it sunkens it even more on the other configuration, and it emphasizes the sharpness of the treble on certain configurations, and it just does not sound good at all. But I can understand the existence for this IEM, for being a bass-centric IEM that leaves the mid-range generally unintrusive and gives a rather natural and organic warmth to the lower mids without really going too far or too lean. I would say that this is a wonderful IEM in that regard if you're looking for something like that. It's also not blunted sounding, but again, I want to reiterate the issue of the somewhat metallic and forced sounding treble. But I'll talk more about that on my full review. For now, that is everything you need to know about the Kiwi Ears Quartet. What do you think about the Kiwi Ears Quartet? Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? Do you want to get one? Let me know down in the description comments. Not description, oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, consider giving this video a like if you like this video. And, you want to see the full review? Consider subscribing to my channel to be the first one to see my review. And again, while you're down there, consider following my socials. I would really much appreciate it. And go to the Discord server. Let's have a chat. And audio notions. I appreciate every single one of you, and you all matter. Let's bop to some beats, and till next time, Obie Audio.